How many times have you felt insecure in a situation, as if every look or comment could define your worth? The truth is that insecurity silently undermines our potential, causing us to waste time, energy, and confidence. But what if there was a way to transform this feeling into strength, to use every doubt from others as fuel to become more confident and centered? In this content, we'll explore 11 Stoic strategies that not only strengthen self-sufficiency but also help balance emotions, set boundaries, and cultivate resilience. Get ready to discover concrete practices you can apply today to act with focus, clarity, and confidence, leaving behind the fear of judgment. Each point we'll cover is an invitation to reflect on your relationship with insecurity, leveraging silence, gratitude, and honesty to create a solid foundation of inner confidence. It's not about changing overnight, but about adopting habits and thoughts that make self-sufficiency and emotional balance part of your routine. In the end, you'll have tools to surprise even those who doubt you, but, more importantly, to surprise yourself with your own ability to face challenges with serenity and determination. Ready to dive into these strategies? The path to confidence begins with small steps, conscious choices, and the understanding that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. The Stoic journey isn't just theory. It's a daily practice that transforms insecurity into quiet power, preparing you to act with clarity, firmness, and focus on what truly matters: self-sufficiency and freedom. Insecurity often arises from dependence on the gaze of others, from the constant need for external validation. Self-sufficiency, on the other hand, is like planting deep roots in solid ground. Even if the wind blows hard, you remain stable. Developing this ability takes time and practice, but the rewards are immense. When you realize that your strength doesn't depend on approval, you begin to make decisions with clarity. This doesn't mean isolation, but conscious freedom. Small daily choices, like deciding your own pace of work or leisure, are powerful exercises in self-sufficiency. Little by little, the feeling of being held hostage by others transforms into quiet confidence. When you cultivate self-sufficiency, you learn to balance desires and needs. It's not just about financial or material independence, but about emotional autonomy. Insecurity often makes us give in to pressure, but true freedom arises when we respect our inner limits. The focus shifts from pleasing to building. This subtle shift transforms everyday attitudes. Saying no when something doesn't make sense or prioritizing tasks that truly matter becomes natural. Over time, you realize that small daily victories strengthen resilience. And, interestingly, the more you know yourself, the more you recognize that silence and introspection are valuable allies. A practical exercise is to observe situations in which you feel insecure and ask yourself, do I really need someone's approval to move forward? Often, the answer reveals opportunities for growth. Writing down your goals and setting clear boundaries is a way to internalize this self-sufficiency. Gratitude also becomes important. Recognizing small achievements helps build confidence. Self-sufficiency isn't arrogance. It's honesty with yourself, accepting that you are capable of handling challenges. With this understanding, each choice becomes lighter, and the fear of judgment from others diminishes. Thus, freedom ceases to be just a concept and becomes a daily practice of balance. Emotional balance and the art of not reacting. Insecurity often pushes us toward immediate responses, as if every situation demands an instant reaction. But there's power in remaining calm, in allowing the mind to observe before acting. This emotional balance is like a calm lake unshaken by small stones. Practicing pause, even for a few seconds, shifts your perspective. Take a deep breath, notice your thoughts and feelings, and only then decide on the best course of action. Over time, you'll realize that not reacting isn't passivity, but a sign of strength. Your focus shifts to what truly matters, not every provocation that arises. Learning not to react also means learning to respect your inner limits. Not every provocation deserves emotional exhaustion, and recognizing this is a daily exercise in self-sufficiency. By remaining silent in the face of impulsive criticism, you convey maturity and confidence, making it clear that you won't be manipulated. This approach strengthens resilience because each conscious choice is a reaffirmation of self-control. Try small practices. In tense conversations, count to 10 or pause before responding. You'll notice that, as you choose your responses, insecurity fades and calmness becomes natural. An important step is to combine emotional balance with gratitude. Being grateful for lessons learned, even uncomfortable ones, transforms every challenge into an opportunity. Look at past situations in which you reacted impulsively and reflect on how you could have responded differently. This exercise isn't about judgment, but about recognizing growth. Honesty with yourself, by admitting vulnerabilities, strengthens personal confidence. Thus, the art of not reacting becomes a daily practice. A silent shield that protects energy, preserves relationships, and expands your inner freedom. And, interestingly, the more you master this posture, the more you notice that the world around you seems to respond with respect and consideration. The power of strategic silence. Insecurity often makes us talk too much, as if every word could prove our worth. However, strategic silence is a powerful resource. It protects your energy and confuses those expecting impulsive reactions. Choosing to remain silent isn't weakness, but a demonstration of control over yourself and the situation. In meetings or discussions, observe before responding. Often, reflection itself brings clearer solutions than rushing to speak. This habit cultivates patience and maturity, and little by little you realize that silence conveys more authority than any hasty argument. Strategic silence also helps balance emotions. When we don't feel the need to justify every action, we gain emotional freedom. Insecurity diminishes as we become accustomed to not depending on the other person's immediate approval. Try this in everyday situations. When receiving criticism or provocation, breathe, listen, and choose whether and how to respond. This space creates mental clarity, strengthens personal boundaries, and allows decisions to be made with a focus on what truly matters. Furthermore, silence preserves relationships, avoiding unnecessary conflict and demonstrating self-respect. The exercise of daily introspection complements this practice. Take a few minutes to reflect on moments when silence would have been more valuable and how it could have protected your energy. Gratitude and self-honesty are allies in this process, as they help you recognize lessons learned and avoid harsh judgments. Over time, you'll realize that silent strength becomes a lifestyle. There's no rush to prove anything, just the confidence of those who know their own worth. Thus, strategic silence becomes a tool for balance, self-sufficiency, and resilience. Focus on the essentials. Insecurity has a habit of making us carry unnecessary burdens, trying to please everyone or prove ourselves in multiple directions at once. Focusing on the essential is like organizing a backpack. You leave behind the superfluous and invest only in what truly matters. Identifying priorities requires attention and honesty with yourself to realize what truly deserves your time and energy. Start by listing daily tasks or goals and eliminating those that don't contribute to your growth. With practice, you'll notice how this clarity reduces anxiety and increases self-sufficiency. Furthermore, dedicating yourself to the essential strengthens resilience, as each effort becomes more meaningful. Maintaining focus also requires emotional discipline. Insecurity tends to distract us with other people's opinions or constant comparisons. When you notice these triggers, breathe and return your attention to what's truly important. Simple tools such as planners, productivity apps, or the Pomodoro technique help you channel energy efficiently. Silence and introspection can be helpful. Reflecting on goals regularly allows you to adjust your course without rushing. Thus, focusing on the essential isn't just about productivity, but also about respecting your own time and limits. A practical exercise is to ask yourself daily, will this contribute to my evolution, or is it a distraction? By answering honestly, you develop self-sufficiency and learn to say no without guilt. Gratitude for what you've already achieved strengthens confidence and reduces feelings of scarcity. Over time, this practice creates a multiplier effect. Decisions become more assertive, energy is preserved, and life flows with greater balance. In this way, focusing on the essential transforms each choice into a conscious step toward a more fulfilling life, less hostage to insecurity. Establishing limits. Those who feel insecure tend to say yes to everything, trying to please or avoid conflict, and end up losing themselves in the process. Boundaries act as invisible fences that protect your well-being, keeping your energy intact and strengthening your self-esteem. Setting boundaries isn't selfish. It's an act of self-sufficiency and self-respect. Start by identifying situations that make you uncomfortable and define how far you're willing to compromise. With clarity, you convey to others how you want to be treated, and this honesty generates more balanced and lasting relationships. Clear boundaries also help you stay focused on the essentials. When you know what to accept and what to refuse, you avoid unnecessary distractions and reduce the anxiety generated by other people's expectations. This practice requires resilience, because not everyone will immediately respect your boundaries, but consistency teaches others that their choices should be respected. Try communicating your decisions clearly and calmly, without excessive justifications, valuing strategic silence as an ally. Gradually, you'll notice how this strengthens your sense of inner security. Furthermore, setting boundaries creates space for gratitude. By prioritizing what's important and saying no to what doesn't contribute, you recognize the value of your time and energy. This transforms small choices into conscious acts of self-care. Insecurity diminishes as you feel in control of your life, knowing that your decisions reflect who you truly are. With patience and practice, boundaries become a pillar of balance and self-sufficiency, strengthening your resilience in the face of external pressures. The role of time in wisdom. Insecurity makes us feel that every decision must be immediate, as if the world is waiting for our next move. But time is a valuable ally. It teaches patience, reveals perspectives, and allows reason to prevail over haste. Learning to wait is an exercise in self-sufficiency, as it shows that trusting yourself doesn't mean acting impulsively. Take time to reflect before making important decisions. Consider the pros and cons and evaluate the real impact of each choice. With practice, you'll realize that silence and introspection help strengthen resilience and inner clarity. Giving time space also helps balance emotions. When we allow ourselves to breathe and wait, impulsive reactions, often fueled by insecurity, lose strength. It's like watching clouds slowly pass by. Instead of reacting at the first sign, we understand the bigger picture. Simple techniques, such as short meditations, mindful walks, or reflective journals, help us internalize this patience. The focus shifts from external urgency to internal development, fostering confidence and emotional stability. Time, combined with gratitude, allows us to recognize achievements that would otherwise go unnoticed in a rush. Reflecting on progress and small victories strengthens a sense of self-sufficiency and reduces unnecessary comparisons. Self-honesty about mistakes and lessons learned becomes clearer, without the rush to fix everything immediately. With time as a partner, every decision becomes more conscious, every challenge more manageable, and insecurity gives way to solid confidence. Thus, time becomes a practical tool for balance, resilience, and personal empowerment. Stoic resilience. When we feel fragile, any obstacle seems too heavy to carry. Stoic resilience teaches us to face difficulties as lessons, not punishments. Just like the oak that resists the wind, each challenge we face strengthens us and makes us less dependent on the opinions of others. Cultivating this attitude requires focus and daily practice. Start by reflecting on past situations in which you overcame difficulties and how this contributed to your confidence. Recognizing small victories fosters self-sufficiency and teaches us that we are capable of enduring more than we imagine. Resilience is also linked to emotional balance. Insecurity often leads us to impulsive reactions, but Stoic principles remind us to observe before acting. Breathe, analyze, and decide clearly. Simple techniques, such as writing down thoughts or meditating, strengthen the mind in the face of adversity. Furthermore, practicing gratitude in the face of challenging situations transforms obstacles into learning opportunities. This attitude creates a solid foundation for facing the future with confidence and serenity, even when circumstances seem adverse. Another essential point is self-honesty. Recognizing your limits without guilt allows you to better deal with challenges and prevent emotional burnout. By internalizing each experience, even the painful ones, you develop resilience consciously and strategically. This inner strength isn't just about survival, but also the ability to thrive amidst storms. Over time, you realize that facing challenges with calm, poise, and a focus on learning builds a confidence that insecurity can't shake. Stoic resilience, then, becomes a daily practice of freedom and self-sufficiency. The practice of gratitude. Insecurity tends to focus our attention on what's missing, on comparisons and external criticism. The practice of gratitude, on the contrary, illuminates what already exists, showing that even small achievements have value. Start by recording 3 things you're grateful for every day. They can be simple, like a good cup of coffee or a gesture from someone. This daily reflection strengthens self-sufficiency because you begin to recognize that inner wealth is already present, regardless of external approval. Gratitude isn't passivity. It's realizing that what you have deserves recognition and investment. Furthermore, cultivating gratitude helps balance emotions and reduce the impact of insecurity. When we focus on what's working and the opportunities we already have, it reduces anxiety about validation or comparisons. Try, for example, giving thanks for the lessons learned from recent challenges or for the people who positively influenced your journey. This daily habit builds resilience and strengthens your sense of self-worth, demonstrating that even in the face of difficulties, there are reasons to feel secure and fulfilled. Practicing gratitude also fosters self-honesty. By acknowledging your achievements and limitations, you create a realistic and healthy picture of your life. This balance transforms the way you face challenges, helping you prioritize focus and time on what truly matters. Gratitude acts as a silent shield against insecurity, allowing your self-sufficiency to flourish. With consistency, it becomes a lifestyle, offering clarity, confidence, and inner strength to face any situation with serenity. The value of honesty. Those who are insecure tend to hide flaws or create idealized versions of themselves to please or avoid judgment. Honesty, however, is liberating. Living without masks allows you to acknowledge your virtues and mistakes with dignity. This exercise strengthens self-sufficiency as you learn to trust yourself without relying on external validation. Start by being honest in small, everyday actions, like admitting when you don't know something or asking for help when needed. Each act of sincerity builds trust and balance, transforming relationships and reducing the burden of silent insecurity. Honesty is also a powerful ally of resilience. Acknowledging failures allows you to learn from them and face challenges consciously. When you admit mistakes without excessive self-blame, you create space for growth and inner strength. This approach combines focus, patience, and self-knowledge, demonstrating that true security comes not from perfection, but from clarity and consistency. Practical exercises include writing about your feelings or talking openly with people you trust, strengthening boundaries and your sense of self-worth. Furthermore, honesty is directly connected to gratitude and balance. By recognizing who you are and what you've achieved, even in the face of failure, you strengthen your self-esteem and reduce the need for others' approval. The daily practice of speaking the truth, without exaggeration or justification, generates emotional freedom and self-sufficiency. Over time, you'll notice that relationships become more transparent, insecurity fades, and personal confidence is consolidated. Honesty, therefore, is not only an ethical choice, but a powerful strategy for building inner security and emotional balance. The power of negative visualization. Insecurity grows when we fear the unexpected and anticipate problems without preparation. Negative visualization, taught by Stoic philosophers, involves imagining difficult scenarios not to suffer prematurely, but to prepare emotionally. By reflecting on potential challenges, you identify internal resources and strategies that will strengthen your resilience. Try setting aside a few minutes each day to imagine obstacles and visualize how to face them with poise and focus. This exercise reduces anxiety and increases self-sufficiency, as it demonstrates your ability to deal with the unexpected without losing your composure. Furthermore, practicing negative visualization helps you appreciate what you already have even more. By contemplating adverse scenarios, gratitude for the present becomes more evident, and insecurity gives way to appreciation and inner confidence. For example, imagining losing something you consider essential allows you to realize how strong you already are and how capable you are of rising again. This habit strengthens emotional boundaries and promotes self-honesty, acknowledging vulnerabilities without allowing them to dominate your choices. Negative visualization also improves focus and balance in the face of challenges. When you mentally anticipate obstacles, you can act more strategically and less impulsively. Small exercises, such as planning responses to criticism or potential failures, make the mind more resilient and less vulnerable to the impact of surprises. Over time, this practice transforms into solid confidence, allowing you to face life with self-sufficiency and resilience. Thus, imagining difficult scenarios doesn't generate fear, but prepares you to live with greater clarity, balance, and inner security. Controlled indifference. Choosing your battles. Insecurity leads us to react to everything, as if every criticism or provocation were a personal threat. Controlled indifference teaches us to consciously select where to invest energy and attention. Not every conflict deserves a response, and realizing this strengthens self-sufficiency and emotional balance. Practice observing situations before reacting and ask yourself, does this really matter? Or is it just unnecessary stress? This pause allows for more assertive responses and prevents anxiety or insecurity from controlling your actions. Choosing your battles also helps you stay focused on what's essential. By prioritizing situations that truly impact your life or goals, you save time and energy, strengthening your resilience. Strategic silence combined with this posture creates a subtle, almost invisible force that conveys confidence without aggression. Practical tools include listing issues by importance or taking conscious pauses before engaging in discussions. With consistency, this practice reduces stress and increases your sense of control over your life. Furthermore, controlled indifference combines with gratitude and self-honesty. Recognizing what's relevant avoids unnecessary comparisons and anxiety, promoting well-being. By consciously deciding where to invest your attention, you strengthen boundaries, reinforce self-sufficiency, and lessen the impact of insecurity. This approach transforms small, everyday acts into empowering choices, balancing your personal and emotional life. Ultimately, learning to choose your battles is a way to live with greater clarity, confidence, and serenity, preserving energy for what truly matters. Throughout these 11 Stoic strategies, we've seen how transforming insecurity into confidence isn't an impossible task, but a daily practice that requires attention, patience, and self-sufficiency. Each point, from strategic silence to gratitude, focusing on the essential and negative visualization, offers concrete tools to strengthen your resilience and emotional balance. Now, the question remains, are you ready to apply these techniques in your own life? Reflect on your current attitudes. In what situations do you react impulsively? Where could you set clearer boundaries? What small practices of gratitude, honesty, and focus on the essential can be incorporated into your daily life? These reflections help transform knowledge into action and build true confidence, the kind that doesn't depend on external approval and grows with each conscious choice. If you want to continue this journey and further deepen your self-sufficiency and inner balance, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way, you'll receive more content that helps you face challenges with clarity, strength, and serenity, cultivating solid and lasting confidence. Remember, every step you take is an investment in your own inner security, and every conscious choice is a step towards a more balanced and fulfilling life.